I'm back. This is David Klein. I love it as I love it. Talking about Comedy Made Easy, the book with 123 joke templates that'll make even the least funny person funny. We're talking about creativity, and this is part 2. Creativity part 2. If you didn't see part 1, you missed it. Go back and watch it. Recap, why be funny? Why be creative? That's what we are. Can't help it. What do? It actually is what we are and who we are, and it's a contribution to the world. You make a plan, you visualize, you read, study, you do your homework, you pray about it, and then you play about it. Okay, what else do you do? One of the best things that you can do is go for a walk. It's a little bit like playing about it. You get your blood pumping just a little bit. It's flowing. Some of it's going to flow to your brain. Can't be a bad thing. And when you walk, it's like me when I ride the motorcycle that I talked about in part 1. It just frees you up. But what's better about walking than riding a motorcycle is you can carry a recording device with you. Now here's something that you may not want to do. You may want to go to a park where nobody knows you. Work out your routine, your thoughts, your creativity, whatever you're wanting to do. If it's to build a new bridge or write and tell a joke, a speech. What are you going to say to your spouse or your child or your mother or your father? Speak out loud. So you may not want to do it right outside your door for your neighbors to see. But just talk. Speak it out. If we're talking about comedy, you find something that bugs you. You know, if it's political or whatever. You know, why you don't like stop signs? I hate, stop signs are great. They just get in the way. They make me late, so you verbalize that. And then what's even better if you just record the whole thing or write down the highlights. You'll be shocked at how creative you can be on a walk, especially if you talk out loud. I know it might sound crazy, but it'll actually work. And that's the next section, and it really goes with study, read, and plan, is work. You do the preliminary work. If we're talking specifically about writing jokes, we talk about making a list. If we're talking about stop signs, you write everything there is about a stop sign. There are, I think, what is it, an octagon or a pentagon or whatever, 5, 6-sided. You talk about that. Why you hate the color red. Why are they always on the right? They're on a corner. Why couldn't a stop sign be in the middle of a block more often? So you write all of the different things, and that helps with your creative brain. Then you don't have to come up with all that. You can look at all these different possibilities. It has to do with the physicality of it, the emotion of it, the frustration of it, the safety of it, all of the different aspects of whatever your subject is. And that just gives you plenty of room and space and things to draw from to stimulate your creativity. Does that make sense? You write that list. Do your homework. Work. But it'll pay off. It's a lot harder for your brain to come up from nothing. You have something to work with. The next item is, and this will sound strange and I'll explain it later, is take a nap. So we're going to go for a walk, we're going to work, now we're going to take a nap. Probably the most imaginative person on the planet, or the history of the planet, was, again, Albert Einstein. And another one, and I think they were alive about the same time, was Thomas Edison. And they both used the same technique. They're working on a problem. Bigger problems than we're going to probably work on. But a problem, and our problems still are worth it. How am I going to tell this joke to this audience? How am I going to talk to my grandson or my grandfather or my father or my mother? What am I going to say? What am I going to put in my speech? What am I going to say in my presentation to my boss? You take a nap. So you have that thought. And what Thomas Edison and Albert Einstein would do, they'd put a big ball bearing or a large nut, bolt or nut, but something heavy in their hand. And as they started to doze off, thinking about that problem, they would go to sleep, and of course they would drop that heavy object. And right in that time, in between wakingness and being asleep or unconscious, their subconscious, their creative mind would think of a solution right in that time. And again, like a dream, you want to record that right away. Take a nap. The next one is, I don't know if you'll find it anywhere because I made it up, but you will find it in the greatest comedy book ever written, Comedy Made Easy, with 123 joke templates written by David Klein Lovett. And what I'm talking about now, I call the page. Get a clipboard. Get pieces of paper. I get scratch paper, but I turn it over so the page is blank. Call the page. And you just write. Usually I'll write the, every time I'll write whatever the subject is. You know, my sister's name is Karen. I might write Karen at the center. And then just around it, I just free write all the way around it. What's going on? What am I going to put there? What am I going to, just anything that comes into my head. That might also kind of go with the work stage, the preliminary work. Get some ideas there. I'll also sometimes actually write, particularly when I wrote the book that isn't just out yet today, but it's at the editor, 101 Reasons to Love Your Real Estate Agent. I would make stories for examples. And as I would write, I didn't know what I was going to write. I just write, and then the story would appear. So you just write. Get your pen and just start writing. It's a great way to be creative. And you can do this, again, for anything that you want in your life. Just write. Don't sit there and write. Literally write. Even if it's, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. I don't want to write. Okay. Next. We've got work. Go for a walk. Take a nap. The page. Tell a friend. There's something incredible about sharing. And you know the saying, whenever two minds are together, I forgot what it was, but it means things happen. Whenever two or more are gathered, then creativity can happen. You might have an idea, and that stimulates an idea for them, vice versa, and you get a end result that never would have happened. Tell a friend. That's why a comedy show has a group of, they don't have a writer, they have a team. So they bounce off each other. Whenever two or more are gathered, magic happens. We talked about this earlier on Go for a Walk. Talk to yourself. Literally talk to yourself. It's like a button, and it activates things, and it activates that mind, and it's absolutely fantastic. And there's just so much more to it than I thought. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. But practice well, so you'll have to get the book so you don't practice imperfectly. So this will help you, give you guidelines. So do that. Practice, practice, practice. Work, go for a walk, take a nap, go to the page, just write, tell a friend. Practice. And the last one is pretend you're someone else. Pretend you're me. Pretend you're Judy Carter. Pretend you're Red Skelton. It doesn't have to be alive or dead. Pretend you're, whoever's your favorite comedian. Pretend you're Einstein. Pretend you're someone else. I used to shoot 3-point shots, because you only want to shoot a 3-point shot. And I'd make about 1 in 10. So I decided, okay, I'm Kobe Bryant in his prime. And I got up there and I made almost half my shots pretending I was Kobe Bryant. I went from 10% to maybe 35%, 350% increase in productivity because I thought I was someone else. I had a friend, and he was quite the ladies' man, but he didn't. He went out and he pretended he was Don Juan, and it worked. So if you're single, only if you're single, try being Don Juan or whoever, Madonna, or whoever you envision yourself if you're a lady and you want to go out and meet new people. Or if you're a comedian, think of yourself as your favorite comedian. And they write their own jokes. So that's it for Creativity Part 2. You work, you go for a walk, take a nap, go to the page, tell a friend, talk to yourself, practice, 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 and pretend you're someone else. This is David Klein signing off. Creativity is the essence of writing jokes. Now go out there and be funny and make the world a happier place. Love it!